How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. This is going to be a spicy match. We have a blue RagnaLord deck, but it's not just Ragna. He's also playing like the Royal Knights. Got some sisters in there, some Digimon support. The idea being that you play a blue base and you can use Kaisernail and Tidal Wave to get some really powerful plays. His opponent's playing an Imperial deck. Now Imperial is going to get really wild with the new starter deck, but for now this is like the old Imperial. He's got some of the basic Imperial from 1.5 as well as the EX support, and they both have Jamming Beamon. It's crazy how good the Jamming Beamon is as a card in general, right? Can swing and never dies. For a rookie, so strong. Plus, you know, with the baby you can get the card draw. I think the idea for the RagnaLord deck is that your Beamon's gonna swing, and then you can protect it with these big powerful blockers like RagnaLord, Craniumon, and things like that. The Imperial player chooses not to promote the Beamon, so, you know, gonna take a bit of a slow start. Flower Cannon can suspend the AC to get the memory back, and now he can swing either at the Beamon or at security. Does have a hybrid to go into the Beetlemon. So this Imperial also has like a green hybrid package. I think the idea is that you can go into your, you know, green level 4 hybrids, and then you can still Digimon into Paildramon after. Hits into a Flare first hit, which is kind of bad, but it's a pretty cool interaction because JP just goes back to being a tamer, and because he wasn't played this turn, he's still able to attack. Now if the JP had swung, you know, he would have been suspended, but he didn't swing, so he's able to swing again. He's able to use Tropical Venom to get some memory, and then Pierce. So pretty solid plays from the Imperial. Also, you know, he gets rewarded for not bringing out the Beamon, as that would have been cleared by the Ultimate Flare as well. So pretty solid stuff overall. The Ragna deck is one of these like wacky decks that could do some insane high roll, but you know, it's not exactly easy to get there. Although once you do get these crazy plays with Kaisernail, it's like super powerful. So I wonder if we'll get to see it. Like I said, he does have the sisters because there's quite a bit of just like Royal Knight support. And yes, it's exactly how that works. He's just hard or forced to hard play level 5 most of the time. He can't like Digivolve into those level 5s, right? So Savior Hugmon, pretty powerful and heritable. As we all know, this card is going to be limited once the BT8 format starts. So if you guys like your Savior Hugmons, you know, start using it now. Gonna be swinging with the Paildramon, the classic Jammin. Now the Ragna deck does have quite a bit of blockers. Tropical Venom used on the Mechanori, and then it goes into the EX Imperial. So this one can unsuspend himself and then suspend one of the opposing Digimon. So pretty solid stuff. You see how he's able to use some of the green cards, you know, to get some value out of them. And then you could potentially give an Imperial Piercing if you get the full stack from a JP, which is kind of cool. So now he can swing over the Mechanori, and then because of Tropical Venom, he can get some extra memory because of it. But I mean, I guess he might not have a way to answer the Savior Hugmon, right? Like out of these two Digimon, Savior Hug is definitely the biggest problem. And then because of the Paildramon, he gets the restand when swinging. So some pretty cool stuff for the old Imperial. Although like, it's hard to get excited about the old Imperial when, like, again, I was saying, the new Imperial is going to be just so insane. RagnaLoardmon is 12k, but I guess the Imperial is at more than 12, or he has Jammin', right, from the Inheribles. We go into hybrid that is suspended already. Beetlemon doesn't get too much stuff in this deck, but he can at least pick up the JP and then the other hybrids. And honestly, I think that's good enough because it's like at best you get, you know, 2 cards, at worst you just don't get anything, but it's fine, right? It might hurt if you send your Imperials to the bottom of the deck, I guess. I guess now he has no other ways to attack, so he's just gonna go super wide. Because of this, he's gonna pass over 3 memory no matter what, and that is enough for the Ragna player to go into a Jesmon. And I know I'm like, this is a Ragna deck and you guys haven't seen Ragna at all, but trust me, he plays RagnaLord in there. Okay, so he can do Jesmon shenanigans, although, like, you know, the stack is not nearly as good as a regular Jesmon deck. Yeah, so he can swing, summon sister, and then restand because of the Savior. Gets that sweet Piercing as well. So honestly, yeah, that Savior might have been good enough, right? Does he have another sister to play? He does. Picks up some, you know, 2 blockers, pretty good. Still gets that Piercing. And we just went from like, okay, Imperial board being super sick and it's just everything got cleared. Okay, and then here's what I was talking about. So it goes into the Ragna, like he does a Jessamon play, and now he ends with a Ragna that has blocker and is pretty strong. And then ideally, yep, with a Kaisernail, you can then get a Jessamon for 4 memory. So there's the full combo. It's pretty good once it happens. Again, you know, it's tough to get there, but it's one of those like decks where like the ceiling for its plays are super powerful, but you know, it is gonna be hurting inconsistency, and like some decks could just punish that so hard, right? But it is cool to see a combo come off. So Imperial's gonna start building again, but at this point, Ragnar's gonna swing with 2 checks. He's got the Savior Hook Inheritable, so he gets to restand as well. And yeah, that's gonna be game 1, going to the blue Ragna Royal Knights deck. It's a cool deck though, I definitely respect it. It's not something that I would play myself, but as we're, you know, still in the BT7 format because of the delay, it's cool to see people playing wacky stuff. I mean, to be honest, even the Imperial deck is not like, it's pretty cool too, right? It's not the most standard stuff. And this was a pretty fun tournament. We didn't have a lot of players at the store because I guess everybody was doing like the online Ultimate Cup and whatnot. But it's cool because we ended up with like, we only had like 6 players or so, but like nobody was playing blue hybrids or anything like that. So we just had like a bunch of like people playing fun decks. We had like a Dark Knightmon, I was playing X Antibody, there was like a Musketeers player. So it was cool, you know, like BT7 is maybe not the greatest format, especially not at this point after the delays. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a great time with the game, and you know, can still go to locals and have a great experience. So I don't know, I still love the Digimon card game. I'm definitely looking forward to the BT8 format. So I guess we'll just have to be patient bears and wait for that. Okay, starting game 2 here. We'll see, it's gonna be the Ragna player starting off. Not bad, you know, Tamer. He's not gonna get that many rookies. I mean, his rookie is only the Beamon, right? So this type of decks, most of the times you're just not gonna get the rookie, right? It's about what you expect. Daisy can help him set up, but it could be kind of tough. Last game we did not see a memory tamer for the Imperial player. I know he does play Davis, which, you know, obviously Davis is pretty good in a deck like this where you can get a blue and a green Digimon. I'm gonna just be going wide with the rookies, and yeah, this is back to the strategy I was talking about. The Ragnar player is just forced to hard drop a level 5, but like that's kind of what they want to do. And honestly, the Megatron is pretty good. It only costs 6, and he has a pretty good inheritable. So it's like you're paying 1 more memory than like the 5-drop level 5s, which are like very efficient. But in doing so, you get the extra, you know, inheritable, which is really good. And then the fact that they're black and red, right? So they could Digivolve into Craniumon and Jessamon is the idea. It goes into a Beamon. Luisthepanda, and then he could go into a Ragnar right away if he's got it. If not, I mean, hey, 12k beater. Technically it's 14 because of the inheritable, right? So he's definitely gonna survive against anything in security. So now, like, yeah, you can go exactly. The hybrid could still go into the Peldramon, and Peldramon is still pretty strong. Combos really well with both of the Imperials. He's playing, you know, the classic one and the EX collection one. So, bit of a slower game. Leaving the Peldramon just suspended like that seems kind of risky though. He's not able to get the restand and kind of has to just start building again from scratch. So I don't like that play. Because like you really want to go into your level 6, right? They're just pretty powerful, especially with that inheritable, right? Like if this stack goes into a level 6, it's just way worse. But maybe just swinging with a bunch of jamming is good enough. Hits into a Judgment of the Blade. That's a pretty good card, and it's good in security. You know, it's gonna go to your hand and it's gonna get a sister. So not bad. Gonna get the extra blocker, which might save him. And looks like we are gonna go into level 6. So it's, you know, the old Imperial or the classic collection one, not the old one, the classic collection one, right? The old one is the 1.5 one. So it could restand itself and then suspend one of the opponent's Digimon. So honestly, not bad. Although, again, because he doesn't have the inheritable, you know, he might not necessarily get there because he still needs 2 more swings. But now there's also blockers, right? So it's going to be kind of tough for him to get through that board. Okay, we see Craniumon. Gonna get more blockers up there. Craniumon's super annoying Digimon. You know, some decks can answer it super easy, and then some decks just have like no answer to it, right? Okay, this is a good answer though. Just get a B1 in the back and then set up a JP. JP is really good because even if you're only set to 1 memory and get memory choke, like you can still go into Metal Cavitary, suspend one of the blockers, and essentially still get the extra swings, right? So I definitely do like that idea. See the other sister show up just to give everybody extra DP. But you know, the sister does require the Royal Knight for it to be a blocker, and I mean, he does have the Craniumon, who is a Royal Knight right now, right? It's gonna pass over quite a bit of memory though, so with 4 memory, Imperial on the board, and JP, we're gonna see, you know, is this enough for the Imperial player? So it's gonna start by suspending one of the sisters, and it's got Thunder Laser to suspend the other one, Thunder Laser to suspend the Craniumon. So 3 blockers, they all got suspended, and now he can swing for game. Pretty funny how that works out. So I mean, Thunder Laser is a pretty interesting card. It's kind of bad in security, right? But it's pretty good when you have it. Also, boom, random camera change. So what happened there was the the camera actually dropped while the match was going on. I somehow did not realize. I was playing the table next to them, but they were able to fix it. So shout out to both these guys, both pretty cool, and thanks for fixing the camera. I appreciate it. All right, we're going into game 3 here. We're gonna see if we can see more Ragna shenanigans. Gonna start by hard dropping a Savior Huck. So see, like, there's some decks that could punish this. I mean, this is turn 1, right? So it's relatively safe, I would say. You do pass over quite a bit of memory though. With 7 memory, you could potentially go into a full Imperial stack right away. Okay, gonna start building in the front. Perhaps valuing the Jamming Beamon a lot. Just go super wide. I feel like making a big stack would have definitely been better there. He might not have had the pieces, obviously. Like, maybe he just didn't have level 5. But if you're given 7 memory in turn 1, you can just go into a level 6. Like, I feel like that's not a bad start. Hits into a Tamer, Issy and Joe. That's definitely less than ideal. Especially because he went white. He's going to be passing over extra memory for sure. Now he has his own dual Tamer. Honestly, I like the green one. It's kind of underrated, I would say. Jesmon's going to be able to swing, summon the sister, get the restand, get the Pearson as well. So honestly, pretty good start. Jesmon's big enough that it doesn't die to the Imperial. He can swing again, and he might have another sister. He does. The full combo, basically. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too scary in the security from the Imperial player. And he's gonna go into the RagnaLord right away. Okay, so this is like the full combo, right? He puts the Pearson and Herald under it to get the memory back. And then he can like Kaiser Nail and then bring out Jesmon, right? Okay, so he doesn't have the Kaiser Nail, but he is gonna be playing another level 5. With this line of play, he passes over quite a bit of memory. But honestly, his board is pretty good. That's not bad. We just haven't seen the Imperial be able to. I guess maybe she just hasn't had level 5. There it is, Peldramon. Is it too little too late though, is the question. Does he have? Okay, yeah, he's only at 2 memory, right? So like a Hammer Spark into level 6. Might have done something crazy there. But it does feel like he's kind of behind though. Like not having a good answer to the hard drop Savior kind of put him in this very awkward situation. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of like Megasuit. That's what Megasuit used to do. You know, you just hard drop, you give your opponent a lot of memory, and sometimes they just don't have a good answer to it and they just fall behind, right? Now, obviously there's times where you do have something and then it just, you get 10 memory, you completely, you know, answer them, but you don't always have everything. That's card games for you. So he gets the restand on the RagnaLord that can swing essentially for 4 checks. It's gonna be nothing too good in security, and that's gonna be game for the Ragna player. So 2 pretty cool decks. We got to see Ragna pop off, do at least the Kaiser Nail play. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.